Hi, thanks for watching. My name is Beth Wallace and I'm the founder and director of Bliss Ireland, and I'm joined in this video by Matthias Rose. Hi Matthias.
Hi.
Matthias is one of the workshop presenters at the Bliss Festival this coming summer, August 7th to 10th in Narrowwater Castle, County Down. Matthias, can you tell the people watching a little bit about who you are and what you're all about?
Sure. Well, I am a sacred sexuality educator, a Tantra teacher and Tantric guide. I do, in my professional life here in Seattle, I teach classes in classical and neo-Tantra, and I do one-on-one work with couples and individuals, opening them to sacred sexuality. And I come to this from a Christian background. So for me, the really beautiful intersection of what I do is the intersection of the practices that come from classical Tantra, the meditations, the yoga, the breathing, the attention to very pragmatic, practical approaches to deepening spirituality in a physical way. The physical things that Tantra teaches that you can do that have a result of opening your body, your mind, your heart, your spirit to the divine. The intersection of all of that body of practical knowledge with a Christian framework in which freedom from law and freedom to access the divine directly are sort of the core teaching that Jesus brought to sort of change Western religion forever. Now, so obviously here in America, we have a wide variety of Christianity, and a lot of it is very conservative and is not at all living the kind of teachings of Jesus that I connect with. So part of my mission here as well is to bring what I think of as original Christianity, Jesus's Christianity, to Christians, and to do that with an approach that honors the feminine. Tantra is a very feminine-based philosophy, as well as the practices are really attuned to and conscious of both masculine and feminine polarities, with each being equal participants, equal but opposite poles of a single spectrum of experience. Part of Tantra's teaching is that each of us has masculine and feminine within us. So a lot of the practices are designed to putting us in touch with and harmony with both our masculine and feminine. And a lot of that is something that I feel has been lost in Christianity through the ages. I'm really interested in early forms of Christianity. Celtic Christianity before it was fully Romanized, when there was an intersection between the natural Celtic, the pre-Christian Celtic religions and the early Christianity, which was still in a very vibrant experimental phase. Similarly to some of the Gnostic Christianity through the Mediterranean, and some of the Eastern Christianity that survives in the Orthodox Church, and has a lot of feminine honoring, sex positive aspects to it. And through the history of Christianity, there has been a thread of sexual mysticism in which honoring the body, honoring sexuality, is not just something that is a beautiful gift from God, which I think most Christians would agree with, but that it is also a path to God, that we can, through connection with another, through the contact and the polarization of masculine and feminine energies, that we can have experiences that open us individually and as a couple to the divine, to a greater experience. So that's sort of the larger context within which I work.
Beautiful. And I think we're really, your particular perspective is so unique and it's so rich, that I think we're really fortunate to have you at the festival. I'm really grateful for you coming. Can you share a little bit about what your workshop is going to look like or feel like? What can somebody who's coming to your workshop at the festival expect to experience?
Well, you know, all of my workshops depend a little bit on who shows up. I like to really meet people where they are, but the goal is to combine a lot of the basic practices, to bring in a lot of these basic practices in a way that gives people new tools, both spiritual and sensual, to bring to their relationships and to their own personal spiritual practice. And to do that in a context, I know there's a number of other Tantra presenters coming to the festival. And so people who are really interested in Tantra, you know, can learn about Kashmir Shaivism from one of your other guests, which is a very ancient and pure form of classical Tantra. People can learn about Tantric massage, which is, you know, a lot of what I do on a day-to-day basis is Tantric massage. And that is a beautiful healing and opening ritual. But what I'll be bringing is the breathing practices and the experience of energy, the experience of this energetic polarity in ways that can bring people into deeper intimacy in their relationship, deeper pleasure in their body, and an embodied spirituality from a context that is really honoring and open to any religious framework. And we'll connect it to whatever sort of religious perspectives people are coming from. So we'll see who shows up and who is interested in this aspect of Tantra and sacred sexuality and sensual healing.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Is there anything before we wrap up that you want to share with those who are watching?
You know, in my workshops, one of the things that typically, one of the experience that people typically have is a real opening of the heart. We will do some, what I call energy exchange, which is fully clothes on, fully safe ways of learning to connect our energy with others. And this is both a great tool to learn, a great practice to get some experience with, but it is also a really heart-opening experience. So people who are looking to feel not just the emotion of love and the intimacy of love, but also the energy of love, and to exchange that energy with other people who are opening their loving hearts. This is an experience that many people get the most out of in my workshops. All the heady, knowledge stuff is great, and some people really, you know, geek out on that. But it's the heart opening that is really the key part of my workshop.
Lovely. And that ties in beautifully, because that's the vast majority of feedback that we get from people who come to the festival tell us that that's what they take away most from the experience of being at the festival, is that it's just a really heart-opening, heart-expanding experience being in that sort of community for the weekend. So I will put a link to your website in the video description below, so that anybody who's watching the video can find out a little bit more about Matthias before the festival and before coming to his workshop. And so if anything that you've heard in this video has sparked you a light or interested you in some way, then we still have some tickets available, and I would encourage you to follow that interest, and hopefully we will see you at the festival. Thank you so much for your time, Matthias, and I look forward to meeting you in August.
Great.